Wow, what a place.
Confidence is high, Joe.
I really don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Finally, Orkney, we're here.
Well, here we are in Orkney, an archipelago of small islands with huge photographic potential. There's such a diversity of coastal scenery. There's sea stacks, there's cliffs, there's seabirds, and there's fantastic white coral sand beaches.
It's really dear to my heart. I've only been here a couple of times, but each time it's really inspired me. So yeah, it's great to be back.
We plan to do a bit of island hopping to Westray, where we've got fantastic sea cliffs that are about 100 feet high, in which gannets and guillemots and razorbills nest, and then visit the island of Hoy as well as the mainland of Orkney itself to South Ronaldsay, where there's again a sea stack and a beautiful secluded bay. So, Joe, before we get started, I've got a challenge for you, which I've set up with Sigma. It's a surprise.
This is a conspiracy. A Prior Sigma conspiracy.
Well, I think you'll find it very enjoyable. Well, Joe, they've asked us to choose 3 lenses.
So you're saying we can't have all of them?
I did ask that myself, but no, we've got to choose 3 lenses over the course of our time in Orkney. We'll use these only for the locations. What do you think you're going to go for? I mean, it's a bit like being a kid in a sweetie shop.
Telling me, yeah, a grown-up sweetie shop. So these are, we've got some zooms. Oh, that's a 14 to 24.
You're not going to shoot that wide, Joe, are you?
How did you guess?
Oh, me neither. Me neither.
35 1.4. All the big lenses are much faster, aren't they? And that's
heavier.
24-70.
Well, you're pretty much a prime lens man.
Yeah. So do I get first pick?
Yes, of course.
So if I had first pick and I could only choose one prime lens, I'd probably go with this one, the 35 F2.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
It's a beautiful, very small, very light, compact, but still fast. And super sharp. And if I only had one lens in the world, that would probably be it.
Well, I agree. I think 35mm is probably the most single useful focal length.
So where are you going to go?
Well, you know me, Joe, I quite like zoom lenses. I like to have that capacity to crop in camera. So okay. I think I would probably go with the 24-70. Which is an absolutely fantastic lens, F2.8, and you know, I'll probably shoot a lot between 35mm.
Yep.
And my second lens, I would probably choose the 70-200. That's
damn. I was going to go for that.
Well, I thought I'd get in there quickly. Okay. I think that complements the 24-70 with 2 lenses I've got from 24mm through to 200.
You're killing me.
And you know, I'm a happy camper. But I mean, Joe, if you'd like this.
No. You've got that now. Okay, so I get my second choice.
You've got your second choice now.
All right. I mean, it's a big twixt in between, but I think I'll go 24.
Yeah,
which I think this one is a 24 F2. My experience with it tells me it's super sharp. And yeah, if I only had a second lens after the 35, it would be that. So yeah, I'll go 24 prime.
Well, as I got to choose two at the one time, you get your third one next.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, in that case, that's easy. That's a 50.
Well,
Standard lens, 50 f2. For the sort of work that I do, I don't really need that ultimate speed. So f2 is heaps,
perfect
really.
for landscape.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, for landscape photography, we really don't get the benefit of fast lenses. You know, we'd be quite happy with f4, even f5.6 lenses.
Exactly, and most of the time I'm actually, well, often by the sea I'm slowing down the exposure, so it's the smaller apertures that I use rather than the wider ones. So not always,
Well,
but
I think my third lens, Joe, will be that fellow there. It's 105 macro, and as you know, I'm pretty keen on photographing intimate landscapes if they're presenting themselves, and I can't think of a better lens than this. It's got a very flat field and it's super sharp, so that would make my three lenses there, the 24-70, 70-200 and the 105 macro.
well, the one thing I will say is if we're running up and down hills, I'm going to beat you because you'll be carrying a lot more weight than me.
And just to complement our three lenses, we've got a bonus lens.
Oh,
And
really?
I know it's your birthday today, Joe, so I've brought along the new 500mm.
Oh, we've got two, we got one each.
Yeah, we've got one each. It's our bonus lens. Isn't it incredibly small? There's my 70-200.
And the weight's about the same.
There's very little in it.
Yeah.
Very little
Yeah.
in it. I just think it's incredible. I mean, I've been waiting for a lens like this for a very long time.
The detailing on it is really quite stunning, isn't it?
Well, I just thought the build quality of these lenses, this one in particular, and the 70-200, they're quite remarkable.
I love the fact that they all have external apertures now, so proper physical apertures, because that's how it always used to be, and it means you're connected with the idea of the lens itself, controlling the aperture. I just think that's great. Plus there's lots of features.
And again,
Yeah.
the Arca Swiss
Yes.
foot there, which
Yeah.
means that you're right onto your tripod.
So you
Really
can just,
excited about using this.
switch from vertical to horizontal really easily.
So, let's head off and try our first challenge.
Great, it sounds exciting.
There's a real freshness about this spot down here at Windwick. It's got an energy.
It's a spot I've not been to, but yeah, really looking forward to seeing it, and looking forward to seeing some more ocean sculpted boulders too, because it has a reputation for that.
Huge potential here.
Yeah, it's a great location. Big tidal reach, so the whole intertidal zone is really, really interesting, very varied. And the way that the rock is fragmented here is going to offer, as you say, a lot of sort of structural, compositional possibilities, I think. I really like what I'm seeing over there on that cliff there, so I'm keen to have a look at that. Wow, what a place.
You know, I'm sure you could, but I could spend a day here, full day, without any problem.
And the rest, absolutely.
What's this Mary Poppins thing we've got here? My God!
Well, what can I say? It's actually, I find it a very useful accessory.
Yeah.
If I ever fall out of a plane,
the next time I'm in the wilderness, I'm going to get one of these. What did you manage to shoot?
Want to have a peek?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so I think the big difference is that I slowed the exposures right down. So some of mine are quite, actually some of them are, I mean really honestly, they're mainly geological studies. So you can see the focus there is really on the forms of the foreground.
That's lovely, Joe.
And the water's
Really
there.
lovely.
Thank you.
And I really like the three clouds that you've got on that shot. Just amazing. that convergence.
I had to fill in a lot of forms to get those clouds in.
And what was that? A six stop stopper?
It was a 4-stop.
A 4-stop.
So yeah, it just slows it down to around a second or a bit longer. I have a couple later that with the sunlight, with stronger sunlight, which are not too bad as well, with the water moving around the rocks. In fact, the very last one, I'm really quite happy with. Although there's a compositional flaw in it. Spot the mistake.
Yeah, not paying attention to the sky. Give it more sky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll have to do something with that.
You can extend the sky.
I probably
Photoshop.
Or crop
Beautiful
it.
image though. It really is.
Thank you. What about you? How did you?
Well, I was shooting with a slightly faster shutter speed, with a 24-70, and I mean, there's a variety. I had the motor drive quite high with the big waves coming through. But
oh, nice. Yeah. Lovely.
And some of the photographs I took earlier on at the higher elevation, I think there's more colour coming, just from that high point there.
It's an amazing location for colour, actually.
It is, but you can see from that higher elevation there, just it's late. I think I wanted something to sort of counterbalance the rocks and just lift it a bit. So I've just given it a bit more. In the way I see, quite pleased with that. So we'll see what they're like once we're processed.
So what next?
Well, I'm just hoping this weather holds out, and we talked about this yesterday, but do you think Yesnaby would work well?
You bet. Yeah, especially west facing, especially if the sun holds out, that could be really good.
Well, yeah, the sun's going to go down on these cliffs there, and there's all sorts of juxtapositions with the sandstone in the foreground there that I think we could do something quite special there if this holds up. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. But it's lunch next.
Okay, that's a good idea. And then we better crack on.
Yeah, we need to be away here in an hour.
Good stuff.
I feel like a rock hopper penguin here. Yesnaby, I know you've been there a number of times, Joe. I've been there a number of times and I've never really managed to capture the light on that stack. I'm hopeful that we might be able to catch something quite magical there.
It's a great spot and geology is amazing. So yeah, I'm all in favour. I think the afternoon sun coming in from the southwest should be ideal for it, really. So yeah.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, Joe.
Absolutely. One of the things that I find fascinating about these coastlines is that, the rocks and the cliffs look so kind of immutable and permanent, but of course that's just so not true.
No, particularly when you see this one over here. I mean, it looks like it's balanced on a pedestal, and I don't believe it would take a huge amount of force to knock it into the sea.
Yeah, it could literally go in the next big storm. Or it might last another 100 years, who knows?
Well, I think it's probably going to outlast us, Joe. So what's your thoughts, Joe, about focal lengths here?
Well, as you know, I only have 3 focal lengths to choose from.
Yeah, it's sad that, isn't it?
It's very sad.
I've got a range of them.
Yeah, how did that happen? It's my birthday too. What sort of present was that?
This is quite amazing with light on it.
It really is, actually, yeah. I have to say, I think it's one of the most unusual bits of cliff scenery in the whole of the UK.
Yeah, indeed.
The lighting is incredible.
It is.
The side lighting and the dark shadows behind it. It's interesting that all these sea stacks all started as just part of the cliff ridge, didn't they? And then you get a breach, creates an arch, the arch eventually collapses and leaves the tower.
It's incredible how precarious that stack is. I mean, if that was
that's crazy.
If that was a building, I think the architects would be...
It'd been condemned.
Yeah,
it would.
They'd be insisting that there was some reinforcement on it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the separation we've got there already.
Yeah, that's stunning.
And I forget,
It really
that
is.
warmer light on it.
It'll be like flags of cloud coming and going, giving us light and shade. We're very lucky.
Here we are, happy as a sandboy now.
What is a sand boy anyway?
Oh, someone that makes a sandcastle in the sand. Right, all it needs is a camera.
Yeah, one of the interesting things with these kinds of pictures is just the horizon is just so important in the image, isn't it?
It is.
That level.
It is,
quite
and
important.
you know, I've come not to trust through experience the spirit level in the camera. You know, when it says it's level, it's not, and I think that's not an uncommon problem in a lot of brands.
I've read somewhere that every single camera has a slightly different spirit level setting. So, but the best way is to visualize it against the edge of the frame. You see the horizon against the edge of the frame, then you know it's straight.
Well, it's an easy thing to visualize that. You know, if you've got the horizon near the top of the frame, just the space between the horizon and the top of the frame and both sides just simply needs to be equal.
You know, one of the things that we ought to have a chat about sometime is shutter speed, because I know that you're keen. Well, I think you're keen on keeping the frames fairly short, the exposures fairly short, whereas I tend to prefer them a bit longer. Any thoughts? Do you feel it's kind of wrong to have a longer shutter speed?
No, I think you need to do whatever floats your boat, and if you like to use long exposures that are the result of an ND filter, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like fast shutter speeds. I think freezing waves, unless they're huge waves and you're shooting them with a telephoto lens, isn't particularly aesthetically pleasing either. But you know, so I've always got this quandary when I'm on seascapes as to what shutter speed I should use, not from a technical point of view, but what I should use aesthetically, because my preference is not to have water looking like cotton wool, because to me it's unnatural. It's not something I see in the natural world. So to me it's more of a photographic technique. So I tend not to go down that path. And of course the other problem you've got is that these filters do introduce colour casts, which can often be frustrating to clean up.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But one of the things that is also true is that sometimes it's so dark that you're on a longer shutter speed anyway, unless you ramp the ISO up. So, for example, in an hour or two's time, you know, as the sun's going down, we'll probably, you know, if we stick with base ISO, we're bound to be in longer shutter speeds.
Yeah, by default, which you can't do anything about.
And one of the things that's great about digital is that you can at least, you can at least test and experiment with shutter speeds, which is really good. So I've heard all sorts of theories about shutter speed, but in the end, I think it's just down to how fast the water's moving and whether, you know, I tend to agree with you about woolly kind of effects. I think that's usually too much, but if you get some shape and structure, it can be really effective.
So what did you end up using, Joe? Focal length?
50.
Well, you got 50 on, have you?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm at maybe 38 to 40 mil. So we're not far away.
No. That's hard, but you're always trying to be different.
Well, you know, that's what people try to be.
Exactly.
But the important thing is to be yourself and not different.
Yeah. For the sake of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So at the moment, the way that the light's hitting the cliff, it's really creating depth because there's a bit of shadow in there as well.
It is.
And
it's quite, really, look at that. That's really soft.
Fantastic.
There. Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's coming up. Here we go.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll get the stack. Come on.
We don't need it on the stack.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's just like painting with light.
It is.
At the moment. There it is, coming on the stack now.
Yep. Just coming off this though.
Yeah, but that's fine because you want
this is a bit hot.
Yeah, the main energy to be on the stack, I think. So I'm still using the long exposure on about 1.3 seconds. I still love that shape in the water around that rock in the foreground.
It's just tremendous, isn't it?
Yeah, it really nice.
Well, I'm still shooting at 50 ISO at a 13th at F8.
Okay. Any sky?
A bit, but there's not enough lot going on in the sky at the moment.
It's not as much definition, but
so I've cropped that out a bit.
I'm gonna, while we've still got a bit of light, I might just try a wider version.
Yeah, if we get a bit more on that stack there, that's gonna, here it comes.
That'd be good. But not until I've changed lenses.
You're not allowed to change the lens, you'll be disqualified.
I've still got my 3 to choose from.
Suppose you're allowed then. That's lovely now.
It is.
But it is coming off that stack just as the sun moves into the west.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's still enough there, right?
Yeah, there is. There is. That's just quite lovely now. Look, even over in the back.
So you're killing me, I haven't focused yet.
Yeah. It's all happening when you're changing lenses.
It always happens.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really good.
Look at the waves at the back there.
Absolutely lovely.
And it's just picking up now. A wee bit more in that foreground. Here, look at that. Here we go. No, it's off the stack now. Come on, stop messing around.
That'd be a cool superpower, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To put the cloud and the sun exactly where you wanted, when you wanted.
That's good now, look at that. That is just fantastic, isn't it?
It is.
I don't think it's going to get much better than that, Joe.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that light picking up in these waves now.
Goodness me. That was sensational.
Sweet music, that. Look at that stack now.
That's incredible. We haven't got any sun on us, but it's on the cliffs. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yep, that's what I think too. You know, what they say, if I had a fault, which I haven't, it'd be modesty.
Oh dear. Well, what do you reckon, Colin?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, we might get a bit of colour, but it's certainly not going to do what we need it to do here, unfortunately. Just too much cloud in that horizon.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right.
I'm thinking about dinner now, I don't know about you.
Yeah, that sounds good. Got a plan together.